Michelangelo hated painting the Sistine Chapel and was forced to do it by the Pope. He considered it 4 years of torture. Before we continue, would you mind liking this video and subscribing to our channel? Now, let's discover why the world's most famous ceiling was painted by someone who despised the entire project. In 1508, Pope Julius II ordered Michelangelo to paint the Sistine Chapel ceiling. But here's the shocking part. Michelangelo wasn't a painter. He was a sculptor who considered painting beneath his true talent. Michelangelo begged the Pope to let him sculpt instead, but Julius II refused and threatened him with punishment if he didn't accept. The Pope essentially blackmailed one of history's greatest artists into creating a masterpiece. The working conditions were absolutely brutal. Michelangelo spent 4 years lying on his back on wooden scaffolding 60 feet above the floor, with paint constantly dripping into his eyes and face. But here's the most painful part. The position permanently damaged his body. Michelangelo wrote letters describing agonizing neck and back pain that never went away. He couldn't stand up straight for months after finishing. The ceiling covers over 5,000 square feet, with 300 figures painted in incredible detail. Michelangelo worked alone, refusing to hire assistants because he didn't trust anyone else to meet his standards. Even more shocking, Michelangelo and Pope Julius II fought constantly during the entire project. The Pope would climb the scaffolding to yell at him about working too slowly, and threatened to throw him off if he didn't finish faster. Michelangelo became so frustrated that he wrote angry poems complaining about the torture of painting the ceiling. One poem describes paint dripping on his face and his body being twisted into painful positions. The most ironic fact, while creating what many consider the greatest artwork in human history, Michelangelo was miserable and wished he was anywhere else doing anything else. He painted the famous Creation of Adam, where God's finger touches Adam's finger, one of the most iconic images ever created, while absolutely hating every moment of the work. The Pope refused to pay Michelangelo properly and constantly delayed payments. After 4 years of torture creating a priceless masterpiece, Michelangelo had to fight to receive his full compensation. When finally finished in 1512, Michelangelo immediately returned to sculpture and vowed never to paint again. He considered those 4 years the worst period of his entire life. The tragic irony, the work Michelangelo hated became his most famous achievement. More people know him for the Sistine Chapel than for any of his beloved sculptures. Modern visitors spend hours admiring the ceiling, unaware they're looking at artwork created under threats, physical torture, and constant artistic misery. That's your Renaissance art knowledge bomb. If this changed how you see the world's most famous ceiling, smash that like button. Subscribe to 3 Min Knowledge for more incredible stories behind masterpieces.